Hi, I'm Jonathan Federico, and welcome to Mediabistro's After Class. Today on the show, we're thrilled to have Kimberlee Auerbach. She's a New York-based performance artist and author of The Devil, the Lovers, and Me, My Life in Tarot. Welcome, Kimberlee.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. So, before we get into your book and all the vlogs and blogs you produce, I have to ask you.
Yes.
The beginning.
Yes.
Le Click camera. The late 80s. How did you become, how did you become
click, 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 click.
We got what's hot, you got what's not. The click has the colors that outdo the others. The click is hot, boring is not. It's easy to see the click's quality. The high resolution is a revolution. The click is hot, why use what's not? The click.
My mom sang in the song because it was my dad's company. He took me shopping in the Short Hills Mall and noticed that I wanted to match my scrunchie with my socks. And he was like, we could make a camera, because he was president of a camera corporation. So I became a click girl. And my mom sang the song, and it was like, click, 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 le click, le click. The color is as color does. I mean, really crazy.
But I mean, it was such an amazing contribution to pop culture. Do you realize this?
I guess I do.
Well,
it was just, hard because my friends were like, you're not a real model. And then I'd go to the shoots and they'd be like, you're the CEO's daughter. But then I was traveling to Japan and Cologne, Germany, and craziness.
So that basically started your career as, a spokeswoman for a wonderful product. I mean, this is amazing. Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome. I love that you love it so much.
Oh, I do.
Yeah. You want me to bring it back with the big hair? Maybe?
I think we should.
Okay.
The big hair's already back, and why not bring back the camera, right?
Exactly.
So let's talk about the book.
Okay.
First of all, how did you even determine your life was interesting enough for a 300-page memoir?
That's a really good question, I will just say that a memoir is different than an autobiography in the sense that an autobiography covers a whole life. A memoir could cover 1 year, could cover 1 day. Mine happens to cover 1 night, and then I flash back to stories from my life. So it's not every story from my life, right? I will just say that, because I do think you have to determine whether or not something warrants a memoir, right?
So what warranted this?
What warranted this? I feel like it's in I'm going to say every man's story, but every woman's story. I get emails from people all the time being like, you wrote about my life, thank you. And I'm like, really? Did your dad get you an engagement ring? But for whatever reason, I write about it in such a way where everyone can understand what it's like to have a parent cross a boundary,
But,
So,
I mean, that brings you share some very personal stories, both in your memoir, but also in your performance art.
Yes, I do.
I get to work, and I'm still itching. I leave work early. I go home. I call my mom. I'm like, Mom, I think Daniel gave me crabs. She's like, you don't have crabs, honey. I'm like, no, I really think I do. Go to the pharmacy, but I'm really mortified at this point. And I'm so mortified that I cannot utter the word to the pharmacist. So I ask for a piece of paper and a pen. And I write down, I think I have crabs. Please help me. They gave me 2 boxes of the Rid or the Nice or whatever. I go back home. I'm shaving my whole vagina off. I'm watching. 5 times. Not once is not enough.
Do you ever feel as though, you're unprepared for reopening these wounds? How do you prepare for stuff like that?
Well, I have a sense of humor about my life, and so a lot of my stories are really funny. And I've also just been addicted to therapy, so I love figuring out who I am and how to get better and seeing the arc and the patterns in my life. So a lot of what my book is how growing up with a sick brother and a sexually abused mother created this triangulation, which acted out in my adult love life with men. And so I end up talking about this pattern and how I heal from it. So that's the overall arc of my story. So it's not everything, it's just this one thing that I'm interested in kind of exploring. And I always ask my students, what do you want? What did you try to get? How are you this active protagonist in your life? Because a lot of people, when they write about their lives, it's very much well, this happened to me, that happened to me. It's really easy to play victim. And that's what I love about memoir. It gets you in the driver's seat and figuring out, what did you want? What obstacles did you have to overcome? So I had to overcome, my dad, not proposing to me, but, crossing boundaries, and same with my mom. And different boyfriends,
And has that ever affected your relationships with people? I mean, you know, has it scared men away, for example?
Well, for example, I thought I was going to be married when this book came out. I was engaged to the guy in the book.
And I take it you're
we
not.
broke up before the book came out. And then I was like, oh, shit, I'm single now. And so anyone can pick up this book and read everything about my first orgasm, about my low self-esteem problems. So there's no, like, hiding any of my stuff. Like, there's no hiding. So that's a little scary for me, you know, as I'm sure it freaks other people out too.
But
I haven't figured it out. I'm still single, so we'll see.
But it's ultimately cathartic. I think that's the point, right?
Yes. The whole point is that my mom was told she could never tell her story because she was abused, and I wanted to live my life eliminating shame, being able to say whatever I wanted to say, and so I try to be balls out.
Well, that's great. So what's next? What's on the future? What's in the cards for Kimberlee
What's in the
Auerbach?
cards? I'm actually working on a screenplay, and I want to work on a television show, and I have another book in mind, and I love teaching. So I'm just, it opened up my whole world, this book, yeah.
Well, that's great. I mean, thank you so much for coming on the show. You're so talented,
Thank you.
If any of you would like to learn about Kimberlee Auerbach, visit her website, www.kimmyland.com. If you'd like to take a class from Kimberlee Auerbach, you can find her course on Mediabistro.com. I'm Jonathan Federico. That's all the time we have for today. Check us out next time, right here after class.